Tell me a little bit about the vision of Maguire Shoes and a little bit your story of being on Dundas and moving over to Queen.
Yes, so our vision from the start was that I used to be a shoe designer, so design obviously was like one of the most important thing when we started the company, and I wanted to make product without compromise, so like European factories, my own design, small quantities, and also I wanted to share what was behind the scene. So I wanted to share like transparent pricing because it helps people to understand the quality. So if they see that a shoe costs 100 Canadian dollar to produce, that's why it's not at 100 Canadian dollar retail cost. So then you can think, okay, if I'm paying $100, maybe the retail is $20. The cost of production is $20. So I wanted to show people what it is to produce shoes in good factory and what is the cost associated with that. And as a designer, I wanted to work with good factories just because it's so much easier and it's so much more fun because the pattern maker are better than you, and like they make suggestion, like it makes your shoes always look good. So from a design perspective, I wanted that, and I feel people are not used anymore to like good quality leather shoes at a good price because of the traditional business model where when you sell to a third-party retailer, they have to make 50 to 60% margin, and that's actually what we're making. So, and then there's no one else taking a cut. So this way, that's how we can keep lower price. So that was the vision. And then I always like fun colors, and because in the traditional industry the minimums are really high, so if you want a fun yellow or a weird green, you're gonna have to buy like hundreds of pair. And because working with smaller factories in Europe, sometimes it's like 10 people factories, so they can do 30 pair of a weird color, so we can test it or we can offer it to customers in like exclusive sizes. So that's why I love doing fun colors, and it's kind of our signature at Maguire, like the colors that you don't often see. And it's because of our business model that we're able to do it. And it's because as a designer, I was always like choosing colors, and they would buy only the tan, black, off-white, and that's it. So I wanted for my business to buy the fun colors because I'm buying them, so I can design and buy. So and I think it became kind of a signature in the brand. So that was, and then the story of why we moved. So we opened on Dundas before the pandemic. So I was supposed to open Dundas March 2020. So we were never able to do an opening party. It was closed for like almost a year. And then Dundas was like really growing when we went on the street. And after the pandemic, it kind of slowed down a bit, like the street, I would say. And then we saw some of our neighbors closing. So we were like, okay, maybe we should move as well. So I started thinking about Queen, and I just stumbled. I asked actually the founder of Cotton. I texted him and I said, oh, if ever you have a space next to your store on Queen, like I would love to move there. And then he texted me back 2 weeks after saying, oh, look, I just found this empty space next to my store. So it's basically because of a fellow entrepreneur, Canadian owner, business owner, that I found this space. So then I called, the price was perfect, so we decided to do the move. So we did it. I signed in August, and then we built September, October. So it was like super fast. But because I've been working with the same team of designer for 3 stores already, it was like faster to do the 4th one. So we can talk a bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, as you just mentioned, I was going to ask, you've worked with Atelier Catherine and an artist named Jeraume.
Yeah.
So talk me through, because from what I understand, the vibe is supposed to be very homey as you're trying on these shoes. So tell me a little bit about that process.
So it's our art director, Véronique and Guyenne, that was like, okay, let's do kind of the apartment Maguire, like how it would look. So that was like the team to design the store. And then we work with Atelier Catherine Catherine. When we started working with them for the first store in Montreal, they were just like two girls like starting their business, like me and my sister, and our business grew like both at the same time. And then with the time we started adding more colors, so the store is a bit more colorful, or like there's a bit more color punch than the other store that we have, so it looks more like a house in a way. So that was like our inspiration. And then we had the art director Vero knew this artist called Jeraume that does a lot of furniture, chair, so she was like, oh, it would go perfectly with the apartment like feeling. So we started with like his art, and then we made it match with like the rest of the store. So that's kind of how we build the store. And I love to buy like vintage furniture and refurbish them. So the sofa are like vintage, so then we can have like one of a kind furniture at like a fair price if you want. So that's I found the furniture before even looking for the store, because I'm always on the hunt for fun furniture for future store. So that was another part that we did. So we wanted to feel like comfortable, because often shoe store are like, you have like a lot of music and like it's a bit hectic and chaotic, the experience of a shoe store. So we want the experience in the store to be more relaxed. We want people to be able to try whatever they want without pressure, because our staff are not like under commission. So our staff mission is to let people try shoes. So that's our main mission, because once you try, then you know what fit better for your foot, and then you can decide to buy later at home online. So with online sales now, you don't have to buy in store. Like often you want to try, you want to go back home, think about it, think about your wardrobe, and then commit to a purchase. So yeah, so that's why like we did the store. And then I feel the apartment feeling make you feel at home and cozy and not pressured to buy.
Very smart.
Yep.
And last question. So your shoes have been described as innovative, sustainable, creative, but a commitment to celebrate individuality, which you definitely mentioned in that color punch. But how does Maguire Shoes achieve all of those goals?
I think what the team that we have is really diverse. So we have like people that look different working with us, that have different styles. So when we design the shoes, we always kind of like show pictures to our team, ask for feedback. So the design is kind of a team effort. So I would say like some team member have like larger ankle, thinner ankle, larger leg, thinner leg, then they have different tastes, different styles. So this way, when we know we have a bestseller, when like, let's say all the team agree on something, even if we're all like different and we all love the same product, we know it's gonna be like a bestseller. So I feel like a lot of shoes are designed by men. Like shoe factories are all owned by men. The patronists are men. Often the designers are like 50 years old Italian men. So the entire industry is like led by men that do women's shoes. And I feel our company, because it's a group of women like working on like shoes, it makes our shoes comfortable and unique and different. And like we think about like what we really want to wear instead of what men thinks we want to wear, you know.
Yes.
So that was one thing that shocked me in the industry. Like often they don't think that we're the owner of the company. Like my sister and I, they think that we're designers working for a company. So there's not many women owner in shoes as well. So I feel that makes a difference in the product.
Wonderful. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.